The fluorescent lights seemed to hum in the silence of the Vengaramudu police station. A young man sat hunched over, his face pale and drawn. His name was Afan, and he had just confessed to unimaginable acts. 5 lives extinguished in a brutal rampage that shook Thiruvananthapuram, Kerala. His victims? His own flesh and blood. Afan, just 23, painted a chilling picture for the police. He spoke of a darkness that had descended, a desperate act driven by a weight he could no longer bear. The officers listened, their faces etched with disbelief and grim understanding. This was not a hardened criminal but a young man driven to the brink. The first rays of dawn cast an eerie glow over the normally peaceful neighborhood. News of the murders spread like wildfire, leaving a trail of shock and disbelief in its wake. The idyllic image of family homes nestled amidst swaying palm trees was shattered, replaced by the flashing lights of police cars and the murmur of horrified onlookers. Investigators, their faces grim, moved methodically through the 3 homes touched by the night's horror. The first, Afan's own, bore the brunt of his rage. It was here that his 13-year-old brother, his laughter and youthful energy stilled forever, was found. His grandmother, her love and wisdom no match for the darkness that had consumed her grandson, lay lifeless nearby. The trail of blood led from Afan's home to that of his uncle, a man who had always offered a helping hand. Now he and his wife lay slain, their kindness unable to penetrate the depths of despair that had gripped their nephew. The murder weapon, a hammer, lay discarded on the floor, a chilling testament to the brutality of the crimes. As investigators pieced together the events of that fateful night, a motive began to emerge from the darkness. Afan, it seemed, had been carrying a crushing burden, one that had slowly but surely eroded his spirit. His father, working tirelessly in distant Dubai, had become entangled in a web of debt. The amount, a staggering 75 lakh rupees, hung over the family like a Damocles sword. Afan, desperate to alleviate his family's suffering, had reportedly pleaded for help, his pleas falling on deaf ears. The weight of responsibility, the fear of financial ruin, had taken root in his mind, twisting his thoughts and pushing him towards the precipice. Whether this financial pressure was the sole catalyst for the horrific events remains unclear. The police, however, remained focused on uncovering the truth. Was this a case of a desperate soul driven to the brink by financial despair, or were there darker, more sinister forces at play? The investigation was far from over, but one thing was certain: the idyllic coastal city of Thiruvananthapuram would never be the same.
He was always so good with his little brother, a neighbor shared, her voice trembling with emotion. They were always together, laughing, playing. I can't believe he's gone.
In the aftermath, the community reeled, struggling to make sense of the senseless. Neighbors, their faces etched with disbelief and sorrow, gathered in hushed groups, sharing memories. They spoke of Afan's quiet demeanor, his helpful nature. The brutal acts seemed at odds with the young man they thought they knew. The tragedy served as a stark reminder of the fragility of life and the hidden burdens people carry. As the community mourned the loss, they also grappled with a profound sense of loss for the young man who had committed these acts. Afan, once a beloved son, brother, and neighbor, had become a symbol of despair, his story a cautionary tale.